Welcome back to Idyllic Japanese Boarding House Simulator
Idyllic boarding.
2019.
What?
Just kidding, it's Hakuoki.
Hana's been watching too many Let's Plays.
This is exactly what I was afraid of. This is exactly what I was afraid would happen when I first started making my old YouTube channel.
What?
Other people's style influencing me into not making my own style.
Hana,
Yes?
I do that too with my vlog sometimes.
All
Yeah, we know.
right. Okay.
Pardon my snacks, by the way.
Including mine as well.
Not that I'll get to snack much, considering the fact that I have to narrate!
I get to though.
It's Travis.
Hey, Travis.
Hello!
No news of my father came forth the other day, and somber restlessness took hold of me.
Well, fuck.
Originally, it seemed Hijikata granted me approval to accompany the captains on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad. Then he called me in. Excuse me. I saw Okta and Heisuke had been summoned along with me, and I felt a partial sense of relief. It did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hijikata. You called me? Hijikata seemed to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the search for Kyoto, but maybe it's best to put a halt to it for now.
Oh.
What? But why? We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry.
Kayla, go lay down.
Good attention.
His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hijikata remained deeply composed.
We have reports of activity from the Choshu, and they do not bode well for us. It would be highly dangerous for you to be out and about.
I'd heard about the warriors of the Choshu domain. I'd heard how the warriors of the Choshu domain are associated with the Imperial Nationalist Party. It's not pink, though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Imperial Nationalist Party, a term for those who wanted to see the emperor as the supreme power of Japan, and also hoped to remove foreign influences from the country, also known as the Sonjo faction. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. All of their faith is aligned with the emperor. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it would mean that my own goal is of little concern to the Shinsengumi. I might become something of a burden to them. So, are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Choshu domain settle? Hijikata nodded and turned towards the two men.
That being said, as of right now, she is not to accompany any rounds with any captains. That means you, Heisuke.
Oh. I get it now. That's why you pulled us in here, right?
Heisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hijikata's words until this very moment where it seemed to click.
Have you even been listening?
Yes, I have. You know, she never caused any trouble during any round she joined us in. Kind of feel like it shouldn't be a problem if she tagged along.
Yeah, even if something were to happen, as long as she doesn't get involved, it should be fine. I mean, it's not like she can run away from us if things get sticky. Right?
I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I made up my mind the minute the men of the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to... Dog.
I made a vow to dog.
She might be getting scared. I think I just heard thunder.
Oh, okay.
No, why?
I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped me find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I first arrived in Kyoto. I will keep my vow. So please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okta, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say.
If you stay with us, you're putting yourself at risk. If you want that risk, feel free to join us. I mean, we have witness reports that fit the profile and description of Koda. You may have a point, but are witness reports enough justification to put her in harm's way? What if you're wrong? What if she's exposed? Do none of you understand? You're placing an unnecessary burden upon yourselves.
I promise I won't cause any trouble, please. If I lose the opportunity to search for my father, then the chances of finding him will sink. I lied prostrate before him, and Hijikata simply sighed heavily.
You'd better follow the orders of every captain you join. No ifs, ands, or buts. Am I clear?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply again.
I'm leaving it to your discretion over whether or not you're going to join them. That's on you.
Alright. I had to make sure this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okta or Heisuke, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden to them. What was I to do? After contemplating, I decided to stay in. I couldn't convince myself that I wouldn't be a burden to them during dangerous situations. Still, it was disheartening to think about. Another dull day spent inside. Throughout the past 6 months, I was allowed to finally search for my father on the rounds, and I felt like a part of the house by contributing. Even though sometimes I was occupied with cleaning or cooking, it seemed like I was serving my part to the Shinsengumi in a meaningful way. I spent most of my time with the captains, but there were many opportunities to chat with the warriors and come to know them as real people. Maybe they were starting to think of me as a warrior in training rather than Hijikata's page. These worrying thoughts made me so anxious I was turning numb. The idea that I had become so dependent on the Shinsengumi at this moment.
Cicadas from nowhere.
What should I do today? I was resigned to the consequences of my decision, something that felt like I was wasting away the tender moments of my life in these headquarters. I was, in short, with nothing to do. Alright, I decided to enter the inner courtyard where maybe I could feel a pleasant breeze tingle my face in the shade. The quaintness may calm me down. Damn it. Alas, no winds blew through the courtyard today. No reprieve from the harsh sun bearing down upon this dry emptiness. I had a feeling it was going to be a bad day. Shade was the best I could hope for, it seemed. I sighed, sitting in whatever shade I could find. Something occurred to me as the sun roasted Kyoto. Oh, right, my father's been here, hasn't he? They'd mentioned it, but they hadn't told me why. Was he tending to the injured, or perhaps educating the Shinsengumi on how to avoid illness? Maybe he'd intended to stay here long term. My father never mentioned to have been with the Shinsengumi. He visited only a few times, or so I'd been told. If he'd really been their doctor, then he would have visited far more often, which left me with the question, why? It was extremely clear to me that the Shinsengumi had plenty of secrets, but I grew suspicious that these secrets deeply implicated my father as well. No, that can't be right. Can it? I shook my head again, trying my best to dispel the dark thoughts taking shape. Sonnet.
What can't be right?
Ah! I spun
Poof, Sonnen.
around to find that Sonnen had walked behind me, utterly undetected and unannounced. Oh, Sonnen! Is it alright for you to be walking around?
Please, I'm no bedridden invalid.
Invalid! When used in that context, the word is pronounced invalid.
Please, I'm no bedridden invalid. There is nothing wrong with me.
There was a hint of coldness in his words.
More than a hint, I'd say.
More like a lot.
Although my left hand is something of an invalid. Which sound was that?
I don't know. That was me being exasperated at you. I couldn't bear to look at the sad, twisted smile he gave me. His arm hadn't healed, and it seemed certain now that it never would. The rest of the captains seemed sure that he would never be able to use his arm as he'd done before.
And what are you doing? Are you allowed out of your room? You haven't been given the run of our headquarters, I'm sure.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. They usually let me walk around as I please so long as I didn't go into anyone's room, but I knew that technically I was confined to my room. Any freedom given to me was simply a courtesy. In other words, Sonnen was right. If he decided to chastise me for being in the courtyard, I had no reasonable response. There were some things I wanted to think about. I hoped the courtyard would be breezy. The moment the words were out of my mouth, I realized they sounded far more like childish excuses than a valid explanation.
Oops.
When you sneak about without permission, it makes it seem as if you have something to hide.
I'm sorry. Still, I was beginning to grow accustomed to the subtle cruelty that seemed to accompany each word from Sonnen's mouth.
That's not a good thing to get accustomed to.
Alright, I'm going back to my room then. I turned and began to walk away. Sonnen's unpleasantness had started after he was wounded during his trip to Osaka. He spent most of his time locked in his room now, and he was quick to lash out on others in response. I knew the loss of his arm hurt him, more than I could understand, but I wished he could go back to being the warm, kind man he was originally. I turned around to see him still standing there. It's really hot out today. You should try and stay out of the sun. Please, take care of yourself. I gave him a nervous little laugh, and he responded with a chuckle of his own. His smile didn't look forced.
Thank you. Take care of yourself as well.
Okay. The Sonnen I'd first met was still there. My spirits lifted. I ran back to my room.
Wee.
It was later that evening that the compound exploded with activity.
Oh, fun.
I was walking down the hall when I heard footsteps and turned to see Nagakura coming toward me. Nagakura? What's that for? He glanced down almost absently at his hands, holding a candle and an exceptionally long needle. Junpei.
One of the Choshu guys we picked up? He ain't talking. Hijikata is gonna talk to him personally, but he said he didn't have the right, tools? And he sent me to get these babies.
I don't understand.
Look, kid. Ignorance is bliss, alright? Don't think about it too much.
He gave another bark of laughter, turned his back on me, and walked off. As the sun began to set, the activity in the compound reached a fever pitch. It was so busy that I couldn't even help with making dinner. The commotion was overwhelming. Heisuke! He shot past my door when he then wheeled back around.
What happened?
That's me!
Sorry! I saw where his Heisuke just like, yeah. So sorry.
His mouth would be moving.
Okay, I'm like, I'm just hearing, hey, Escape, what?
What happened? All the men are running around. Any word from that Choshu prisoner? Oh, maybe his mouth doesn't move when the voice acting's turned off.
No, it's just the eyes. Yeah, the guy finally broke.
The mouths move when voice acting is on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool. It looks like they're having a meeting right now. We're getting ready for a raid.
Oh.
I just cracked my knuckles out.
Keisuke went on to explain that the Shinsengumi would be splitting into 2 groups and searching locations at opposite ends of the city.
Heisuke, when are you going to keep your mouth shut?
Kondo would take... Well, I mean, this isn't information about the Furies, so it's fine.
True, so he's super excited. He's like, dude, this is going to happen.
Dude, I can talk about something! Holy shit!
Kondo would take 10 men to the Ikeda Inn, and Hijikata would take 24 to the Shikoku Inn.
I heard they might be at Shikoku. Yeah, Shikoku. Gotta say, I'm kind of pissed that she's sending me to the Ikeda. You said it close.
They'd send more men with Hijikata because they thought he'd be seeing action. Kondo and his men were to make sure they covered all their bases. You mean there aren't even 40 men ready?
Yeah, kind of sucks because there's so many men who get sick when we need them most.
I'd known that the heat in close quarters made some men sick, but I hadn't known it was so many. Heisuke sighed.
We sent word to the Aizu and the Judiciary Commissioner, but it looks like they don't care. Fun.
Aizu Domain, one of Japan's more influential clans, they were related by blood to the Tokugawa clan and were put in charge of the office of the Kyoto Military Commissioner. Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, a shogunate administrator whose role was to oversee the daimyo, settle law disputes, and supervise the city. The position was occupied by Sadaki Matsudaira during this time period. Sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. No! Shit.
Fuck. Unfortunately.
I can't go back.
Up.
Oh no, there we go. Okay.
It was unfortunately.
Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could offer him apart from sympathy. I had a feeling it was going to be a difficult night. I went to hit X and my finger slipped.
You feel like it's going to be a difficult night, huh? You ever heard of the Ikeda Inn incident?
After all the men capable of fighting had left for their respective assignments, Sanin called for me.
Oh no.
I'm sure it was only out of courtesy, but the chief has asked me to protect the compound.
Sanin's passive-aggressive attitude reared its head.
Oh, fun.
It's mostly empty, of course, but someone may try to attack us for that very reason. Apparently. I must ask you to stay where I can see you. I may need to give you orders should the worst occur.
Okay. I hesitated a moment, then spoke. Does that mean you'll protect me? Wasn't sure why, but he laughed at that.
Well, I should hope I'll be of more use than the men who have been confined to their beds, at least.
Was I supposed to be happy?
Nope.
His smile was so sad, I wasn't sure what to say. It seemed to hurt him most when the other men were out fighting and all he could do was wait. The silence between us stretched and out until the door to our room suddenly opened without a sound. Crawl.
Colonel Sanan, we've confirmed that the Choshu are meeting at Ikeda.
The Ikeda Inn?
Oh dear. That's less than desirable. The Shinsengumi have never been good with chance.
His tone was light, but his face was serious, and with good reason. He'd been certain Shikoku was the right location, and had sent only half as many men to Ikeda.
Yamazaki, can you do me a favor?
The man, whom he'd called Yamazaki, nodded curtly.
Oh yeah, I forget. That's something that Makoto says a lot, isn't it? The man called.
Mm-hmm.
The man called this, the man called that, the dude called this.
It's like Zen. Chuman, that dude. Susumu Yamazaki, a member of the Watch who reports to Hijikata. He was an officer of the Shinsengumi as well as a spy. He is the Shinsengumi officer and spy as well as a member of the Watch. Despite not living in the Yagi residence, he is aware of my situation.
First, go tell Hijikata that the enemy is meeting at Ikeda. He should still be on his way to Shikoku. And I'm sorry to trouble you with it, but I need you to take this child as well.
Hey! Wait!
Child!
Yamazaki seemed just as surprised. Yamazaki looks like he's about to shit himself. I pause before thinking about what's next. Why me? I feel like if I were to go with him, I would only be a burden. Why did he choose me? I can't stand the thought of getting in someone's way and being the reason something bad happens.
You may be a burden, but at the end of it, you could also save someone's life, if you're lucky.
Sanin responded while giving me a cold gaze.
There may be Ronin out to intercept you. And besides, there is a chance that Choshu has sent reinforcements. If your message were to be intercepted, then you will be sure not to reach Hijikata in time.
Sanin finished with the soft smile I hadn't seen him use for weeks.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yes, if the worst should happen, I can hold off any Choshu Ronin and give her the message.
What?! It sounded as if they were suggesting if things went badly, Yamazaki would sacrifice himself.
Yes. Of course, I doubt it will come to that.
We're short of men right now, which means there's... That's not me. That's not me arguing.
We're short of men right now, which means there's more I need you to do. You'll need to notify the Aizu and Judiciary Commissioner as well.
That would have Yamazaki running all across Kyoto. Suppose it really drove home just how thin the Shinsengumi was stretched. There's no other person that could do this job? What about Shimada? Shimada is another Shinsengumi spy who was trusted enough with the knowledge of my situation. Kai Shimada, an officer in the Shinsengumi who also served as a spy. During times of peace, he serves under Shinpachi in the 2nd Division. Sanin shook his head. The Shinsengumi need every single member they can get, and Shimada was with the Shikoku team. Which means that apart from Yamazaki, I was the only one that could possibly serve as a messenger at that moment.
You're Yukimura, right? I heard you know a little about how to protect yourself.
Yes, I do.
Unfortunately, I can't guarantee your safety. If you can manage, you're welcome to join me.
I tried to run away while we were out. I had no doubt that he would kill me without hesitation. This mission is his priority, not my life. Even so, I'll go. I can take care of myself. You don't need to worry about me. Sanin gave me a small smile.
I'll give you a small mile.
Shut up. I knew I'm having trouble reading right now. Shut up. I knew he wanted to join the battle more than anyone, but we both knew that wasn't possible. The least I could do was carry out my mission.
Very well. I accept your request, Colonel.
He bowed. He bowed then as he stepped out of the room and turned to me.
Run with all your might.
I took off after him, my legs working as hard as they could. And with that, we're going to stop this episode. Sorry guys, I know it's a bit of a cliffhanger.
What's gonna happen?
Well, Yamazaki's warrior record has been released.
Oh, is that a red flag or a green flag?
That just means I can see his pictures and stuff. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next one. Mata ne! Izumi? Izumi?
Did we lose her?
No, I just muted my mic, Jenny!
Till next time.
Hey guys! Do you like our content? Do you want to support the show? Click the link in the description below to visit our donation page. All proceeds go towards new and better equipment and games you want to see us play. Everyone who donates will get a special shout out at the end of future videos, and we're currently working on setting up some special perks for you. If you don't want to donate, that's okay too. You can support us by subscribing and clicking that bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out a new video. A huge thank you to Kyle Sheridan for donating and helping to keep our show going. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you'd like to find out how I ended up in Kyoto, click the box on the left to check out last episode.
Or, if you'd like something a little different, head to that box on the right to check out Saving Throw, where the members of Revolutionary Productions play through ridiculous adventures in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Seriously, go check it out. That's an order.
Hijikata? You can't just order the viewers around.
I can if they're all like you.